and the Italian Edtech report, which is a direct consequence, clearly, of the Italian Edtech map. And we are building the first ever report that will be released annually on the tech ecosystem in Italy, in collaboration with our partners from Growth Capital, which is an investment fund here in Italy and in Milan, and also in Madrid and London. And I'm happy to call today Giacomo, investment associate of Growth Capital, who is going to give us a quick preview of the tech report and give us some insights. Thank you, Giacomo.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Matteo, for the introduction. I'm going to present myself. I'm Giacomo Bider, and I'm associate at Growth Capital. Growth Capital, as Matteo mentioned, is an European tech investment bank. We help startups and scale-ups in their fundraising rounds, mainly Series A and B, and also in M&A transactions. We are a team of 30 people. We have offices in Milan, which is our headquarters. We have offices also in Madrid and London. So a part of the, let's say, investment banking activity, we also look a lot at numbers. So I'm the guy with slides and numbers, I know, but I'm going to be very, very quick this time. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what's happening in VC. So venture capital investments in EdTech this quarter in the last 5 years. And then I'm going to have a look at what was happening also in Italy. So here's the big picture. So, I mean, probably everyone knows that 2001 and 2002 were like an outliers. A lot of factors, you know, money was free, there was a lot of money, a lot of interesting startups to invest. It was a boom. So from the 600 million roughly of 2019 and 2020 investments, they skyrocketed up to 1.8 billion and 1.5 billion in 21 and 22. Now we can say that situation has kind of normalized to, I mean, more normal level again. So we saw like a decline in 2023, but again, it's not really a drop because obviously every market, every sector was impacted by a lot of stuff, which is macroeconomic trends, interest rates, inflation, valuation of listed companies going down. So this a little bit was something that happened across all the market. And one thing which is very important to highlight here is that below you can see the percentage of the EdTech investment on a total investment of VC remains stable, which shows some kind of resilience in this space. Q1 started, I mean, kind of okay with 80 rounds and 108 million invested. Briefly, we can look at the quarterly numbers. On the left side, you can see the number of rounds. Again, they skyrocketed in 2021, 2022. Now back to normal levels, 80 to 100 rounds per quarter in VC in Europe. On the right side, same situation. Now Q1 2024 was slightly better than last year, but I mean we see some promising numbers coming ahead for the year. This last slide actually gives you a little bit like the context of the main VC ecosystem for EdTech in Europe. The important thing here is that, I mean, you saw UK is the biggest market here with more than 200 million invested per year, but they do not experience a high growth between 2023 and 2020. On the other hand, we see smaller countries like Spain, for example, and Germany, which are kind of keeping up with UK. They more than double their investment size between 2023 and 2020. And before going to Italy, just wanted to highlight a little bit what are the trends that we see happening in the market, and then they're going to shape the market for the rest of the year. We see that, I mean, especially in USA and in Europe, consolidation in the sector. So a lot of like big M&As, very important transaction involving EdTech companies. And obviously this is a sign of a maturity in the ecosystem, and we believe that this kind of trend will also happen in Italy in the foreseeable future. The second thing we saw before with the numbers, we saw some resilience. So notwithstanding the ups and downs of the market, the EdTech VC funding remained kind of the stable in percentage terms. Obviously, I mean, AI, I mean, it's not even a big news, right? I mean, it's impacting every day in our life, every sector. But especially here, we see some space for, I mean, edtech startups, especially in personalized learning experience and operational efficiency. But I mean, for sure, other panels will also look at this aspect way more in a more detailed way than myself. Other two important trends are for sure corporate learning. You obviously know better than me that the job market is changing very rapidly. So employees, I mean, human resources need to change as well. So with upskilling and reskilling are, I mean, hot trends right now in the market. And finally, climate education. Again, sustainability, not a big news, but I mean, sustainability apply to everything that pertains to the education and aligning, I mean, goals and skills to the sustainability efforts will be obviously key for companies working in this aspect. Yeah, so now I'm gonna go to the second part of my very short pitch. So we see in education HR in Italy. And before going to that, I would just want to make sure that, I mean, our methodology is fully understood because, I mean, we spend a lot of time in that. So we only take in consideration Italian companies and companies, startups based abroad, but with Italian founders and more than 50% of the people still working in Italy. And we also take in consideration the primary equity part. So no debt and no secondary transactions, so just money coming from investors to startups and to companies, which is very important in this case. So here's the situation. Here's what's happened in the last 5 years. So number of rounds from 12, then went to a peak of 19 rounds in the last years. And what we can see here is that, I mean, actually 2024 is a very promising year with a promising start. 25 million invested with 11 rounds. So again, education and HR, as we saw in Europe, is not, I mean, a very high sector compared to the total VC, but again, we can see some promising news right now. So this is the situation when you look at the quarterly trend. You can see 2024 in terms of amount invested on the right. We have raised more than the old 2023 altogether. And also in number of rounds, we saw a very high number in Q1 and Q2. So again, totaling close to 20 rounds in the first, as of May 2024. Here is like the situation in terms comparing education and HR with compared to the other sector of the industry. We said actually the number are not really correct, but I mean education and HR should be like the one before media is 94 rounds in the last 5 years. So again, is a tiny sector, but we look some promising. We see some promising space in the future. And this is the same situation for the amount raised, 126 million in the last 6 years. And that's it for now. But please stay tuned because we are gonna draft a very big report and more comprehensive with the guys at Edtech Italia, and will be out in the following months. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Giacomo. This was enlightening. Sì, spento, grazie.